In this video, I will be flushing the radiator system on this BMW K1600 GTL. I will be using liquid moly radiator cleaner to accomplish this task. To start this job, first thing you have to do is take the plastics off of the bike. I took them all off because I'm doing more than one thing on this bike, but it is easier if the plastics are off the bike. That's all I'm going to say about that. We're coming down here to the left side of the radiator. On the bottom, there's a little, I don't know, petcock, valve, whatever you want to call that. So you turn it about a quarter of the way, and then you're going to turn it a little bit more and pull forward at the same time. Now I have the cap on the radiator so I can control the flow. I don't need it to go, you know, super fast. Now I'm going to let this drain until I believe I've removed enough to where I can put half of that can in there. Here's the radiator cap. It's on the right side of your radiator. Now to take this cap off, we're gonna turn it left till it stops. Now the trick is we have to push down and turn it at the same time. You might have to use two hands to do that. All right, once you do that, it'll turn and stop again, and now you'll be able to pull the cover off. I mean, this is not an exact science. I'm just pouring it in there until I think it's about half the can. Probably a little bit more than half is what I put in there. All right, we're going to put the cap back on. And we got to push down and turn it at the same time. And then we can let it up and just turn it. Now I'm going to run the engine for about 30 minutes or so and let that chemical do its thing. With the magic of video, the engine has now been running for about 35 minutes or so. I'm going to place a fan to cool the engine down quicker. I'm not going to do anything to this until this engine's completely cool. Okay, now that the engine's nice and cool, I'm going to take the radiator cover off. The overflow, I'm going to remove the cover on that. Now we can come to the drain plug on the radiator. We can drain that. I'm going to let it drain until it's all done. All right, now that the radiator drain is closed off, go ahead and fill this up. All right, now that the radiator is full, I'm going to put the cap back on the radiator. And we're going to let it run again for another 30 minutes to cycle the clean water through the system. Same thing, let it run for half an hour, using this fan to cool the engine down. Once it's cool, we can drain the radiator. I am going to do this process 3 times. The draining, filling with clean water, and running it. 3 separate times. So I already did it once. I got 2 more to go. All right, after the 3rd time, you're done flushing. Go ahead and put your drain plug back in. There is one more thing we're going to do now. We're going to remove this screw. I'm going to pull this line out and flush whatever is left in the engine. This is a T27 bolt. And now you should be able to just pull this off. Look at that, nice and clean. Make sure the O-ring is still in there. Hand tighten this. Just snug it. The antifreeze that I'm going to be using is by Peak. Final Charge Global 50/50 pre-diluted. Nitrate free, extended life. I'm not recommending this brand. All I'm telling you is this is what I'm using on my BMW. If you want to be safe, go ahead and buy the BMW antifreeze. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Probably going to see it bubble up like that. So you're just going to have to wait, let it go down, fill it back up, and just keep doing that until you're full. On the right side of the motorcycle, right where the water pump housing is, you're going to see this screw right here. We're going to crack this open and keep it open until all the air is out. There you go. So once all the air is out and all you're getting is antifreeze, you're going to go ahead and close that back up. You need to check the radiator and add fluid if it needs fluid. Right in here is the other screw that we're going to open up to let the air out. To get to that, this is going to be loose, right? You're going to take all the screws out of your housing here, pop this open, move this over to the left so you can get in between here. Now we're just going to loosen it up, let the air out. If you don't get any air out of this right at this moment in time, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and snug it back down, because we are going to run this and then we'll bleed those again. One last time, top off the radiator. We'll go ahead and put the radiator cap back on. The overflow, I'm going to fill it right to the top. We're going to start her up and run her for about 20-30 minutes. Once it cools down, it should suck in some more. Oh, it's already going down. Anyway, it's going to suck in from the overflow into the radiator system. Once the bike is completely cooled, if we need to, we'll fill the overflow, run it, break this bleeder again, and get more air out of there until we get eventually fluid out of there. When the antifreeze heats up, it expands. It may even push some air back through the overflow. When it cools down, it contracts, so it'll suck in more antifreeze, which in turn fills your radiator. And eventually, once that happens enough times, you won't have any more air in the system. So I figure about 3 more times of running this. We're starting to get antifreeze on the bleeders. I'm going to let the system cool down a little bit longer, and then we'll hit the bleeders up one more time and make sure there's no more air in the system. It took 4 times of running this, letting it cool down to get all the air out of the system. As you've seen, the left side, we got nothing but fluid coming out. That is real good. The right side, nothing but fluid coming out. And as of right now, the overfill is filled to the top. We're going to wait for the system to cool down, final cool down, and see where the overflow ends up. Okay, the edge is completely cooled down. The overflow is right at the max. The way to tell is to look on the opposite side. There's a max here, right where this edge is. That's your max. And it's slightly over the max, so we're good. Get the cover back on. Make sure it's on properly. Get your garden hose and rinse everything down. Make sure everything's clean. I have one more thing to do to this motorcycle to address the overheat issue, and I'm waiting on those parts to come in. There are links in the description below to other videos on this bike. If you're interested, go ahead and check that out. You all take care. Hope you have a great day.